All right, right where we left off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure, before I turn this on, or before I start putting the material into the blade, I wanna make sure it's at full RPM before I start cutting, and I push this through at a nice and even speed, so that way it doesn't lift the material up. You do not wanna push the material through here very, very quickly. So I'm gonna show you exactly what this is gonna look like. This up. I take this at places here, and I'm very conscious of where that blade is. Instead of it gets my stop lock here, I go ahead and I'll push through the other side. Okay, now I bring both hands back, I turn this off, and I'm going to wait until the blade comes to a complete stop before I remove my piece, okay? We never want to reach our hand over a blade, all right? Even though this is a saw stop piece of equipment, we don't want to test that out, right? Let's just be safe. So now this is cut. My dado in here, 5/8 deep by the width of the leg. So we're all set. So let's just go ahead and let's come on back to the bench that we're working at. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to start laminating the beam together. Now I have all these clamps in the way here, but the very first thing I want to do is I'm going to take this and I'll place this on top of here. We want to take the spacer, put the spacer in first, but the very first thing in this step that we want to do is we have our glue, we have our screw gun, and we have our appropriate screws that I've counted out to have exactly what we need on this. Now I have my pencil line drawn where the start of the spacer is, and a pencil line down here where it ends. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead. The glue is actually what's going to hold this the best. So what I'm doing is I'm placing the glue on here. And let me grab the camera so I can show you exactly. I just put that on there. So you can see I started it before the line. I'm sorry, just inside the line, and then it goes along here all the way to the end where the other side of the line is. Okay? I want to place you right there. Now on the beam, I have already marked out where all my screws have to go prior to putting any glue down. I want to make sure I have all my screws in and flush to this surface in the next 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead, place this in here. I'm going to grab one of my parallel clamps. I'm going to make sure this does not slide around. This will prevent the pieces from sliding one way or the other. So now I have it set on my line down there. I just want to check, see over here. I'm all set. And what I want to do is start here, and I'm going to work my way to the left and to the right. Just bury it just a little bit below the surface. This way, it's acting as a clamp. Flush there. Flush there. this clamp off. I feel pretty safe with that. 2 more screws down here at the very end, or near the end. Now I'm going to take this clamp off. So now I've installed the spacer. Now this spacer's in here perfect, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this down, and as you can see, or you will see, on the leg here I have my 4 areas where I want to screw this in. I'm going to take this is going to get placed right here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive my screws in. I'm going to make sure this is nice and tight and square. But the first thing I need to do is I need to grab a little bit of glue. I want to make sure this is square. Okay. Balancing this might be a little bit of a trick at first, but it's not such a bad deal. As you notice, I crisscrossed. Now, every one of these screws I put in, I make sure is either flush or slightly, just a little bit recessed below the surface, so that way when I go ahead and put the other piece on of the beam and laminate this together, there isn't a problem. This is flush here. Now, this piece gets put on here. This is the end spacer of the project, so I'm going to lift this off, or the beam. And go ahead. Put my glue on again. Slide this up. Grab 4 screws. Okay, I'm almost done at this end. Now I'm going to go down to the other end. I'm going to grab my 4 screws, my glue bottle. I grab my leg. What I should do is grab my combination square as well, and another 4 screws. Okay, that's exactly where I need it. Flush the top. the last spacer piece here to go in. Of course, I need to put my glue down. I have my 4 holes marked, or for my 4 screws marked. Make sure that's flush to the top. Very good. Okay. Now I have most of the beam completed. And take this